Ollie.
Hi.
Hi. And Southampton unbeaten in 7, 3 points off the top of the table. Just how tough a test is this going to be for your side?
Yeah, we know it's going to be a difficult one. They've done really well since, well, if you look back, if you look over almost like a 30, 40 game block, they're one of the top teams. So they've made great improvement. So we know how difficult this game is going to be. We drew twice against them last season. So it's for us a point to that there's games that we can make improvement on.
Do you think the challenges of the fixture schedule, especially for the clubs like yourself that are in Europe, give other teams a chance outside of the top 6 to improve this season and perhaps get into that top 4, top 5?
Yeah, I think this season is going to be a very unpredictable one. So, yeah, of course, there's sometimes advantages by having a full week of training. But we want to be in the Champions League, so I'd rather be there and face the congestion rather than not having them, of course. So that's just a situation that we have to get used to and make the most of.
Carl Anker.
Hi, Ole. Carl Anker from The Athletic here. Could we get an update on team news?
Yeah, Scott and Paul, they didn't train this morning, they were not on the grass, so they look like they're very unlikely for the weekend. Marcus, Victor, Aaron, they came through the session today, so hopefully they should be okay. Still not 100%. Luke has just started his rehab out on the grass, not with the team yet. Jesse is back from his isolation period, so he's back with the groups, had a couple of days training. And apart from that, Phil Jones is still out until probably after Christmas sometime.
Carlsen?
Yes, hei Ole.
Hei.
Er greit å ta det på norsk, eller spørsmålet?
Ja, det kan vi gjøre.
Altså Mason Greenwood han tok jo Manchester United og supporterne med storm i fjor, og så har han vært under litt kritikk og hatt noen vanskelige episoder og blitt beskyldt både for det ene og det andre og på sosiale medier. Så tror du folk innimellom da, har en tendens til å glemme at fotballspillere også er bare mennesker? Han er jo bare 19 år gammel gutten, så at det går litt opp og ned vel kanskje å forvente.
Sorry guys, that was a question in Norwegian, that's fine. It was about Mason. I'll answer it in Norwegian and then I can translate into English after. Vi prøver å hjelpe alle spillerne våre, om de er gamle eller unge, og det mer erfaring du har, til større sjanse har du selvfølgelig til å unngå å gjøre en og annen feilen, men jeg har ikke noe med problem med å hjelpe unggutter og prøve å hjelpe dem til å bli gode fotballspillere, og Mason er en veldig, veldig god fotballspiller. The answer was just about Mason, and we've got a tradition of helping young kids develop, go through the ranks. There'll be times, of course, when you have difficult periods, even when you're a young player or you're an experienced player. And as a club, we have a good tradition and history of helping players through difficult periods as well as good periods to kick them on.
Hi, Ollie. Just in terms of team news and players that can play, Donny and Edinson both played obviously the full game on the other night. Are they in the condition to be able to start if you choose them tomorrow?
Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah, I think, it's been very... we played on Tuesday, then we don't have a game until Sunday. So it's been a long period for us. We managed to give the boys one day off as well in this difficult time. So, yeah, they both will be they're available to play, and I'm sure if they do, they're capable of playing again.
Trafford because we're in Tier 3 in Manchester, but there will be fans next week at West Ham. First, what impact do you think, and is it kind of a sign of some light at the end of a big tunnel?
Yeah, I think so. Very pleased that we are making the progress and that we can let the fans in gradually. Of course, we can't wait to see our own fans at Old Trafford, and we know how long they've been waiting to be there and watch the games live. So steps in the right direction, and we're pleased. Even though we're the away team, it's still creating an atmosphere in the game. So we're looking forward to it.
Samuel Luckhurst.
Hi, Ole. Just to clarify, Paul had problems with his ankle last season. You said he's got an ankle injury at the moment. Is that related to his issues last season, or is this a separate issue?
Separate issue, yeah.
Okay, could someone put a hand up if you want the next question? Andy Mitten.
Hi, Ole.
Hi.
When you started out as a manager when you were 13, you named your first team after Diego Maradona. How were you?
It was a sad day, and for me, Diego Maradona will always be the best player that I've seen live. I was fortunate enough to see him play for Argentina against Norway in Oslo. They lost 1-0 before the World Cup. I actually remember a Norwegian lad, Kjetil Osvold, nutmegging him, which I thought was fantastic. And after the game, I was stood outside the ground waiting to get a glimpse of him, and I actually touched his shoulder as he walked past the crowd. And since then, I've had the pleasure of meeting him at Old Trafford, and a guy with unbelievable talent on the pitch, and a smile always when you see him. So I've got to say it was a sad day, and for me he will be the best that's ever played football.
Simon Stone.
Ollie, you've won 3 in a row. It's a long time since you won 4 in a row after you took over. Are these the kind of games that you really need to win to prove you're on the right track in terms of getting the club back to where it wants to be, rather than just scrambling to try and get in the Champions League?
Yeah, of course we want that run to continue, but we know how well Southampton have done recently or lately, the last year or so. Still, we have a very good away record, and I think we are up there as well since the turn of January. You know, when we had some ins and outs transfers, I think that was a big turning point for us. So since then, we've been pushing up the table, and depending on how many games you look back, I think we're getting that consistency. And of course, we know that this is a nice challenge and a good test for the team now to see if we've really learned our lessons from the games we played against them the last season.
Alex Crook.
Ollie, you mentioned January there. With the fixture congestion that's been well documented and the truncated nature of the season, do you think this January will be busier in general for Premier League clubs in terms of signings and for Manchester United in particular?
Well, it's hard to predict how other teams how the financial situation is, if teams need to sell or if they've got money to buy. I don't predict a lot of ins and outs, to be fair. I think the world financially and the football world has changed as well. So it depends on how the injury situations are at different teams. I feel very happy with my squad at the moment. We're getting stronger. I still have issues every week when we only got an 18-man squad to pick from. Who do I leave out? So I feel I'm in a good position.
Hi, Ollie. Bruno obviously had another great game for you in midweek. I think on the Facebook page, a lot of fans were saying he's the best signing since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. I know managers are loath to make comparisons, but can he be to this team what Ronaldo was to this Man United team in terms of his inspiration? Because I think it's 34. He's been involved in 34 goals in 35 appearances. I mean, he's got that kind of presence and inspirational qualities, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does definitely have that presence, and he has an influence and impact on his teammate. We can just look at the results that we've had since he's come in. And he's got loads of energy, he's got leadership, he's a team player, which is the key here now for us going forward. Some players will have to sit games out and rest. I wasn't looking forward to telling Bruno when he was resting against Leipzig, but it was absolutely no problem. Same with Marcus, to be fair, because they know this season is challenging, and that's how we build this team and this the culture of the team. That it's about the team, not individuals. And I think Bruno has proven that over and over, that it's the team before I.
Neil Custis? Neil?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ollie, just the way Marcus and Anthony played so well the other night in those wide positions, is there a temptation for you to try and give Marcus a run down the middle with those two wide, given that he is the most instinctive finisher?
Did you mean Edison through the middle, or Marcus? Because
Mason through the middle.
Mason, yeah. Yes. Yeah, of course. The game against Istanbul, they had the spaces that we felt was going to suit that setup. So that's always when you look into the games, you look at your own team, but also how the opposition set up. And I think that game suited Marcus on the right, Anthony in the middle. Mason can definitely develop into top number 9. He has one of the top number 9s of world football the last 10 years to learn from now as well, Edinson. That goes for both Anthony and him and Marcus. So Edinson's come in and shown a different way of playing as a number 9 that we've had at the club for a while. So they can learn off him, definitely. But they're all capable of playing in all those positions, which is also a nice skill to have.
Okay, last question from Carl Anker.
Hi, Ollie, me again. Want to talk a little bit. Just want to talk a little bit about Southampton. They're a team with a very pronounced tactical shape and a plan. What's the challenge when you play against a team that has such a well-known physical element to them?
Yeah, it's similar to when Jurgen came to Liverpool. He's the German coach who likes pressing, front foot, aggressive, which is, of course, more difficult to play against if you dwell on the ball. Because they set traps. Very, very interesting to watch the progress that Southampton's made under Ralph. So you know that you're in the game for the 96, 97 minutes. They scored against us last year in the 96th minute. I think the first goal they scored against us as well at Old Trafford showed what they are capable of when you make a mistake in midfield. They pounced and counter-attacked and scored. So I'm a big admirer of that type of physical attributes that he has in his team.